Hello everyone, my name is Brittany Greer, and I'm going to be focusing on the frustration behavioral. If you're going to know me, you're going to see a lot of videos from me. I will normally type my posts, but I prefer doing the videos just because I get out what I want to say better in video than I do with typing. So the behavior that I'm going to be identifying is frustration. Frustration, everybody gets frustration. You see it a lot in kids, adults get it. I was frustrated today at work. Frustration is something that everybody's going to have, and it's a behavior that everybody doesn't know how to handle without like sitting down and thinking like what's the best way that's going to work for me and how to identify that they are stressed. So you're going to see in the classroom was frustration. So students may be huffing and puffing, grumbling, yelling, being rude to others, refusing to do stuff, snapping at friends because they don't want any help. Might stomp around the classroom or pound their fists on the desk or throw pencils and papers. Maybe throw a chair, maybe throw a desk, because that's the most extreme that I've seen with students who are frustrated has been throwing chairs or throwing themselves on the floor and essentially hurting themselves is the most extreme. Blaming others for what they did or for what happened, being touchy, frowny, looks angry, might be tense, fidgety, have probably a quick reaction to anger, cry because they're so frustrated, they don't know why they're so frustrated, lashing out with either verbal or physical, biting nails, lips, tugging at hair, tapping feet, or bouncing their knees. That's a form of a nervous habit. Heavy or quick breathing, or a red face. A red face gives it away. So taking a look at the first tier, before you start with anything, there's going to be multiple ways that we can help with frustration. I have tried the counting down from 10. I would hold up 10 fingers and they would have to blow out each candle until they're calm. Sometimes they get frustrated with that. So if that's the case, we do deep breathing. What I do with deep breathing is I put a piece of paper on the table and they have to blow that blow that paper off the table. Having a reflection sheet, that's a great thing to have. Like, if they don't know how to write, then maybe like a one-on-one situation where, the student and you sit down and like you ask questions and the student answers. Or the student, you give the paper to the student and so on and so forth. Taking a break, having a stress ball. A lot of times like they want to squeeze something. That squeezing does help. It distracts their mind because their brain is working towards working on the muscles in their fingers to be able to squeeze that ball. Taking a break, as in like having this, if the student's getting frustrated with the worksheet or frustrated with a friend, removing them from the situation and having them go do something else, either doing something for you or doing something that's going to help them. That's tier 1. Always want to try to use a natural, calm voice, because if you come out yelling, that's going to make them more frustrated. So we're going to try, if that's been going on for like 6 months, then the next thing that you should be doing is contacting a behavioral specialist in the classroom, in the school. Normally, they have behavioral specialists. I know at least at my school where I do my internship, we have one. Have a plan, a behavior intervenient plan, also known as called BIP or PIB. Classroom management support, counselor reference, letting the counselor know what's going on, and then they spread out and use their resources, as in like getting parents involved, so on and so forth. Having nonverbal cues and signals. If the student's getting, I feel like the whole classroom should be able to have this. A student is getting frustrated, the student should be able to hold up fingers, like let's say like 3 fingers, and go like this. My hands all the way up and go like this, as in like they're getting frustrated and they need a break. To do sensory tools, social stories, sharing stories with having the student be able to share their story, and then you share a story that made you, like the time that you felt frustrated, and see if you guys can find any correlation to it. My detail response. There's just a lot of things that you can do with frustration, but the main point with frustration is to calm the student down and figure out the best way that's going to help them calm down. If you tried everything that you could, then that's when you go to the counselor or go into the behavioral specialist and addressing it with them, because at this point you're out of options, right? But other than that, thank you all for listening, and I appreciate it.